أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين حبيبنا وصفينا أبو القاسم محمد صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم الحمد لأهله والصلاة على أهلها والسلام على من اتبع الهدى السلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته. How many times by making wrong choices in our lives we have caused damages to ourselves? How many times by planning wrong things in our lives we have caused damages to ourselves? How many times by plotting bad things for others we have caused damages to the lives of other people? A believer is a person that chooses the best of his life, that chooses the goodness of his life. You might find yourself in problems, trials, and tribulations, but as a believer, you don't give it up. You don't give up to life, but you give your life, you give your full attention to the Creator, to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That is how a believer has to live with his life. A person that has tawakkul in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will not suffer any physical damage, any spiritual damage, because he knows that I have got Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and Allah is enough and is the best for me. That is what a believer would say. A person who wants to have a good and a pleasant life is a person whom in his problems he finds a chance to have the full communication with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Even when he is in prison. For a believer, if the prison makes him to be next and close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he would prefer going to prison. If the palace, the castle, the big houses, if the state house makes a believer to be a sinner, then a believer is not going to be into the palace. He's not going to be into the state house. He would rather be at a place where there's no comfort, where there's discomfort, where there's lacking of luxury, but he is close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The people, the women of Egypt, they are the women that put Nabi Yusuf alayhi salam in problems. They wanted Nabi Yusuf alayhi salam to find peace in the wrong things that they were doing. They wanted Nabi Yusuf alayhi salam to find goodness into the wrong things that they were doing. But since Nabi Yusuf was a believer, Nabi Yusuf, Prophet Joseph was a believer, was a person that believed in the existence of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala at large, and then he knew that my purpose of life here is not for these petty, mean things. My purpose of life is to make Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala be a being that loves his creatures. When these women, they requested for Prophet Joseph, may peace of Allah be upon him, to do what he requesting him to do, the response of Nabi Yusuf, the response of Joseph alayhi salam, was a shocking response to these people. And then to himself, what did Nabi Yusuf alayhi salam, he says? Nabi Yusuf alayhi salam, he says, Na'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. قال رب السجن أحب إلي مما يدعونني إليه. He says, Ya Allah, the prison is dearer to me, is the most loved to me against what they are calling me, against what they are inviting me to do. Look the response of who? Prophet Joseph alayhi salam here. He prefers the dungeon, he prefers the prison against the house of Aziz, against the palace, against the castle, against the luxury life in a palace. This is what a believer would do. A believer would always prefer the best of his soul, the best of his spirit, than what it is to live for on earth, which allows you to do the wrong things, which allows you to make you to be ashamed, to undress yourself, to undress your mind, to undress your soul with wrong things, with mean things, with evil things. This is how you can live also on earth. You would prefer to have little, but in connection with the Most High, in connection with your Creator, in connection with the best which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants for your life. Nabi Yusuf alayhi salam, Joseph, he continues by saying, وَإِلَّا تَسْرِفْ أَنِّي كَيْدَهُنَّ أَسْبُ إِلَيْهِنَّ وَأَكُنْ مِنَ الْجَاهِلِينَ. If you, O Lord, if you, Allah, you are not going to make their plans to be not successful, I shall fall. I will find myself in their way. I will find myself in the way of wrongdoers, in the way of the ignorant. I shall find myself in their way. They are ignorant. They do not know the purpose of life, why you have created them, O Lord. Now ask yourself, how many times have you had wrong choices? And these wrong choices, they bring regrets into your life. Ask yourself, how many times have you been a person that everybody, if they look at you, they complain? When they see you, they see problems. I hope and pray and believe that we should be the people that are learning from Prophet Joseph. May peace of Allah be unto him. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.
إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما.